One question I do get a lot, how many cats can you actually fit in there?
Jesus Christ.
There's one. Whoa. Ahoy!
Ahoy, ahoy!
This is going to be a little bit different compared to my last couple of videos. No crazy gaff shot.
What a joker!
It's no big fish almost tipped me over. Fishing, unfortunately, on the Gold Coast has been very slow over the last week and a half.
Boo earns, boo earns.
So I thought I'd take the opportunity to answer a few questions that I get with respects to my kayak and my setup. Just a quick video just to give an overview of what my kayak has got and what I've done to it. So yeah, let's get started.
Let's go!
All right, so we have the Stealth Fisha 460.
Yes!
The ski is actually 4.66 meters long and is 66 centimeters wide, so it makes it nice and stable out in the water. We'll start at the back. Got our rudder. We'll get to the rudder cables a little bit later on. Up the back, nice carry handle. I've got my camera boom here. What I've actually done is I have put a little clip in here just so that camera mount just sits in there nice, and that just goes into the existing hole of where the actual handle goes into, so no drilling of new holes. We have got our rudder box here, so if you need to get access to your rudder cable, sometimes you get the rudder twisted up. 2 simple screws to get in there, and you can deal with that. I've included a piece of Velcro which is actually connected to the existing screw, so that just holds the camera boom in nice and tight, especially going out through the surf or coming back in. The last thing you want to do is lose it, but to stop that I do have it tethered down. Originally the kayak had 4 of these up here, and there was a bungee cord that used to go through there, so you could actually have something sitting underneath there if you wanted to. I chose to get rid of that and chucked in 2 more anchor points, purely for the fact that I could mount this on there and another rod if I needed to leash that up to that as well. I have installed a Railblazer starport mount on the back here. That is just riveted in, it doesn't go anywhere. Easy to get out, lock him in. Once that's on there, it isn't going anywhere.
You're going nowhere!
The kayak originally does only come with 2 rod holders. You get your 2 side rod holders here. The Pro Fisher model does actually come with 4, but I opted just to get 2 more installed at the time I picked it up. I've had the kayak for almost 2 years now, so I got that done right at the beginning. I generally fish with 3 or 4 rods, so it is handy having those 2 spare ones there. This is your hatch behind the seat. As you can see, plenty of room in there. I've never had any issues with not having enough storage. I originally purchased the kayak with a screw lid, but I found that it was a little bit tough to open up while I was actually out in the water, especially with a bit of a dicky thumb that I've got. So I chose to get it taken out and put the Hobie style in there. Now, the hatch itself, it does have a bit of an issue. You can't see here, but there was previously a little plastic tab, which is what was used to lock in there. But as it has done with mine and a few other guys, it has snapped. So a quick simple fix is to just chuck a screw in there. That locks in there and there's no issues. With regards to sealing water, look, it does a pretty good job. Some water does still get in there, but yeah, it's not really much of an issue. We've got ourselves a couple of rod leashes here. These are just made at home. You do have these points in here to attach your rod leashes to. There's one here as well, so I do have 5 if I need them, but I've never had any issues with not having enough. As they say, if it's not leashed,
it's gone. It's all gone.
Yeah, not only are they an awesome fishing kayak, because during these tough times in ISO, you can actually use them as some gym equipment. So what you do is you just pick them up, chuck them up in, just do a couple of bit of shoulder press, you know. Look at that. Perfect.
4002.
Fishing kayak, exercise equipment, what's not to love? Come to our hatch lid. When I first purchased this, it didn't have the molded lid for your sounder, just had just a standard flat one. I chose to get that and then have my sounder installed. This particular sounder I've got has only recently been installed. It's the Garmin CV45. I've had a few issues with it, so I won't make any comment on that at the moment.
No comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment, no comment.
I'll wait until I get that replaced, which should be happening soon. So to get into your hatch, you've got 2 straps here. you can actually crank these down super tight. Like, you can almost guarantee that no water's going to go in there when they're both down nice and tight. I do also have one of these on there. I'll show you once we get that open. So this was put on after I purchased it. This doesn't come stock. When I'm actually out paddling, I don't have these done up. I'll always just have this one done up. So just in case something happens and I get capsized, something knocks me off, at least the hatch is going to stay closed and it's not going to be able to fill up with water. Obviously coming out through the surf before going back in, you do these up to make sure that no water's going to get in there, but just for out there while you're fishing, it's just handy to have that on there. Now to the key feature of the actual Stealth kayaks is the fish hatch. As you can see, plenty of room in this thing. It carries up to 4 7-foot rods. My rods are 7 foot. I take 2 big spin rods out and 2 smaller. Plenty of room in there, never had an issue. And also having this much room in between your legs when you're bringing fish in helps from getting your old fella chopped off.
Oh my God!
I've put a few big fish in there. Oh yeah! Never had any issues with storage. It's just one of the things that the Stealths are just awesome for. One thing I have done in the actual hatch itself is I have replaced the Velcro. I just got these ones that are just a little bit bigger. I found with the stock ones, they just weren't long enough, so you just go and cut yourself some, attach it to the existing holes, and you've got plenty of room then. My battery is actually situated in here. I'm actually using the FPV power. It's a 12 volt 7 amp battery. It's a lithium battery. I actually used to have one of the old ones. These ones here. Do yourself a favor. If you're trying to save weight, get one of these. One comes in at 444 grams. This one comes in at 2.1 kilos. So if you're looking for a nice light kayak that's going to go through the water, choose one of these things. This generally just sets up in here. There's a couple of straps in here. Not the most ideal place to have it, but I've been using it for 2 years now and I haven't had any dramas. If I do get another kayak in the future, I may change where I put the battery, but for now, that's fine. As I said before, these are your foot controls for your rudder. Pretty self-explanatory. We've also got self-draining foot wells in here. If you look on the other side, so as you paddle along, the water does drain out, so you don't have to worry about that water sitting up in there. As you can see, I generally run 2 cameras. We've got the rear boom, and then we've got the front camera here. I am just using a suction cup mount for this one, so I don't have to bother about drilling any holes. This thing is super tough, doesn't come off, so it might knock the camera down, but it's actually not going to come off and rip any holes in the kayak. Once again, leash to a bit of bungee to the front handle. You're not going to lose those cameras.
And it's gone.
You've got your paddle scratch pad. This is just foam. Bungee with some plastic on there. That's where your paddle just sits in there. If you're fighting a fish or whatever you're doing, you want to get the paddle out of the way. Another carry handle up the front. And then we have our 2 drain plugs. One's for actually inside the hatch and one's for inside the hull. So if you do manage to get water in either, tip the kayak upside down and there she goes.
There she blows!
Water comes out. As you can see, the custom paint job, that wasn't done by myself. That was done by the person who owned it previously. I don't know the method behind the madness, but I think it may be trying to replicate the old sea snake, and I tell you, there's no fish or shark in the world that's going to have a crack at this if they think it's a 4.6 meter sea snake with these colorings.
Fuck this.
One question I do get a lot with respect to the center hatch, it's oddly enough, is how many cats can you actually fit in there? So I thought I'd give it a crack so I can at least get the answer out to everyone. So let's give it a go. Let's see how many we can get in there. There's one. All right. Yeah. Well, 2 at least. In relation to the weight of this thing, empty, just with the sounder and the battery in the hatch, it comes in at 25.7 kilos. So it's relatively light. Generally, when it's all loaded up, I'll still carry it down to the beach. because it's not too heavy. In saying that, after I've been paddling now around for a couple of hours, I won't carry it back to the car. I'll just go and get my trolley. One other thing on the water, very, very stable and still very fast. Without even trying, you're paddling at 5-6 kilometers an hour. And if you've pulled your rods in and you're paddling in, you can get up to 10, 11, even 12 kilometers an hour if you really put the pedal down. If you do have any other questions, pop them down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.